3 random pickup lines I wish I used in the moment. So my last name is legitimately sweet. And a few months ago, I had to get a new phone. And the guy's name tag at the Best Buy said Sin. And it wasn't until hours later that I should have asked him if he wanted to have a sinfully sweet time. My friend offered to break my phone so that I'd have to go back and talk to this guy and use the line. What do you think about it? As a man, I'd love to hear from men. I'd love to hear how you'd feel about this kind of pickup line, if you'd be flattered, if it'd take you back, if it feels really confident. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Second one was I had a hole in the tire on my front bike wheel, and I had to get that fixed because that was my only mode of transportation. So I went to a bike shop, repair shop, and got it repaired. And as I'm leaving with the bike, after I've talked with this guy back and forth, we're having a good little banter, and we were both single. And he made a remark about being at a certain pub that night, but I was knackered because it was very hot. I was having a really stressful time, and I was just not up for going out again. And that was my only mode of transportation, was the bike, and I'd done like 20 kilometers of biking that day. So I missed that opportunity. But while I was in the shop, I was getting ready to leave, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I pumped that up to 50 psi, so it'll be firm." So I said, "That's all right. I like it getting firm." I know I got him a little bit with that, but another missed opportunity. And then here I was biking back to staff lodging, and I've got my headphones on, I'm whistling and singing, and there's a gentleman in front of me walking with a rake. And so he's courteous enough to make sure his rake is beside him and he's not going to catch me. And I had to think of something interesting to say to him, just to talk to him. So pulled my headphones off and I said, "That's an interesting walking stick you got there." And he did what I would do of like being super logical. He's like, "Oh yeah, well, I didn't want to catch you, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "Could you imagine? However, I really wish I said something along the lines of, well, I'm already super clumsy and I don't need your help." So, something like that. Or I just wish I stopped and chatted with him more. I think more people could have more meaningful interactions that could lead to dates and receiving each other's phone numbers if we just take a little bit more time to talk to each other. Because had I actually stopped biking instead of focusing on my task of getting home to do nothing important, quite honestly, had I just stopped and chatted with him, I could have, checked his ring finger for one. But at the very least, I could have just had a nice conversation with him and just learn more about him if he lived in the community and that kind of thing, and find out why he was carrying a rake down the road. So let me know, you guys, if a woman said some of these lines to you, how would you feel? Would you be really appreciative? Would you be kind of like gobsmacked? Would you feel that she's very confident? Would you want to ask her for her number? Would that like open you up? Her kind of saying something like that, would it prompt you to take a step further? I'm curious to know. Let me know down in the comments below.